welcome back to Brick Gaming yugioh. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're going to be continuing the series on how to drastically improve at Yu-Gi-Oh! And today we're going to talk about kind of like, not so much deck building, we'll be getting into that more in the future, but today we're going to be talking about how to decide what archetype or deck you want to play. So, kind of basics of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that you have control decks, stun decks, and combo decks. Those are generally the three that are the most popular, in my opinion, and those are generally the three that you'll see. Sure, there's gonna be like some variations where like some grades like both control and also control and combo deck can respect, but then you also have decks that are just straight like combo decks. So just to kind of give you an idea of like what deck you want to play. Not saying for you to play, like, I'm not going to make the decision for you, but I'll kind of go over the different play styles. So let's first off start off with kind of just an example. So first example, we'll be using pendulums. Pendulums are definitely more of a combo deck, where your goal is to mainly make a really big board, combo as hard as you can, and set up a bunch of negates. Now I'm sure that's going to sound like, isn't that a control deck? I mean, in a respect it is, but for the most part, you're there just to combo. And you're comboing into your negates and all that type of stuff. It's not like you just look at your hand and you have like 4 or 5 traps in your hand. And you're like, oh cool, my opponent won't be able to play. More with Malphos is you add combo into those. I mean, also this kind of goes for the same respect of Infernity back in the day. Sure, Infernity was a bit of a control deck where you try to control the game, but for the most part, you're comboing. For example, the whole Trish combo, or you also could just later on just do Archfiend into a whole bunch of back row over and over again with Lavallo Chain, those cards. So, in that respect, if you're going to play a combo deck, the main goal is to know your combos. Now, knowing your combos includes what I do in this situation, and generally, in my opinion, combo decks require the most amount of test hands, the most amount of test playing, all that type of stuff, to really get down consistency. Also, just from my own experience, combo decks also generally take the most amount of time to learn and play. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more complex, something that's like a little bit more combo oriented, I would definitely go with that route. Also, the other thing about combo decks is that to play them, you can also kind of think like Magic the Gathering. So there's like, I don't personally play it, but I've seen this example used quite a bit, and I think it's a really good example. Think of it as like a fire deck. You're trying to win as early as possible, but the longer the game goes on, during the harder it is for you to win. Next, we're going to get into control decks. So for control decks, generally, you're trying to control the game. Generally, you're not trying to combo as hard. Like, it's not like a combo deck or like, kind of like the examples I gave. It's more of a deck where over time you win the game. Like, your first turn board is okay. It could win you the game if you like manage to set up enough negates or options. But with control decks, you're trying to control the whole game. So from start to finish, you're trying to control what your opponent does and what you do. So basically, it's like, I set up this board. It doesn't have to be like the biggest board or greatest board. Like with Salads, you're ending on right now like 1 or 2 monsters, but you're ending on plenty of back row or plenty of hand traps, or you can just control the game from there. So control decks are more like literally how it sounds. You're trying to control the game. They have the average opening. Generally, like their openings are pretty average, but as the game goes on, deck gets better and better and better. And basically the way you want to beat or win with control is, if you're going to win with control, always have more resources than your opponent. If you're going to try to beat control decks, you have more resources than them. So you basically, if you're going second, build up your resources and eventually get more than what they have. Or if you're going to win with control, you want to have consistent resources and manage to out-resource your opponent so that they can't really play. Because if you have one negate and your opponent has 1 card, they can't win the game. Now finally, we're going to get into stun decks. So for this example, I'm going to use a kind of like an older deck as an example, Dino Rabbit. You can also kind of relate that to Grave Keepers, or a bit of a stun deck. Basically what stun decks are is that they're trying to get it so that your opponent is stunned out of the game. So during a lot of floodgates, think like clipports back in the day, a lot of floodgates, he can play hand traps. Generally, stun decks play card demise, do a lot of draw power. And that way they can set like five cards in the back row and end with one monster, and then just prevent you from playing. Like another example is basically a card that doesn't allow your opponent to special summon. That can be considered a stun card. And with equip spells and a little bit back in like 2017 when card demise first came out, just saying a whole bunch and then equipping it like with some really insanely powerful equip spell, and then you could have like a really big beat stick on the field that said no to what your opponent was doing. So generally stun decks, their first turn is generally also pretty average, kind of similar to control, but as the game goes on, they almost exactly stay the same, just middle of the line. Sure, at like really late game, they go up. You can also relate stun decks to Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine is definitely a stun card in the respect that it stays up on the field. It prevents your opponent from playing a certain part of the game, and generally you can win, especially if you're playing like Mystic Mine Burn. Sure, the deck's gonna hit a little bit, considering like the ban list and hating like terraforming metaverse, all that type of stuff. But secret tip, you still have triple demise of the land, and that card is pretty good in those decks. Sorry, going off on a little bit of tangent, but basically stun decks, the longer game goes on, better odds you have of winning. Early game, that's where you're weakest. Generally, it has out of the 3 decks the weakest first turns, in my opinion. Control usually has a better first turn. Stun decks also generally can't win if they're going second against either control or combo decks. Like if either of those decks have even amount of negates, generally shut down stun because there's a lot of back row, and if you don't see like a lot of resources going first, you don't lose. The way you want to win with stun is just having your floodgate stay up. You want to floodgate your opponent out of the game, and once they can't play, you win. And kind of the same logic that goes with other decks. If your opponent can't play, you win. But with this, you're basically just trying to set up floodgates, trying to set up like 1 or 2 monsters generally on your side of the field, and just sitting on those 1 or 2 monsters for the entire game. Unlike with stun or combo decks, a lot of monsters change. Like a lot of them go to the graveyard, get banished, resummon, all that type of stuff. More with stun, it's like A, I set up a board, B, I only stay on this board for the rest of the game, and hopefully my opponent doesn't out it. So that's generally a play style of stun. Now, how do you decide what deck you want to play? Generally, if you're pretty decent at knowing combos and are willing to put in the time, I'd say go the combo route. Combo route decks generally stick around for a while, and you can always play different variants of them. Generally, if you have enough time to really like learn how to play a combo deck and really learn the combos, generally combo decks would be your way of going. I personally prefer playing combo decks, but I played stun before, I played control. I play a little bit of everything. Just personal playstyle for me is combo decks, in my opinion, and from what I've used, I've done best with those, but to each their own. So combo decks, if you have the time, if you want to learn combos, if you want to do something really crazy, this way I would go. Control, if you don't want anything like too insanely complex when you're starting off the game, generally I recommend control. Generally gives a pretty good competitive edge, and it's generally not the hardest deck to learn how to play. Not the easiest either, but it's a good start deck. Like Sound Great was a great archetype for new players to get into the game to learn mechanics and rules. I wouldn't say it's the easiest deck ever, but also combo decks also offer a lot of different potentials, generally with which hand traps you want to play, with which back row you want to play, with your ratios. It's generally like one of the most easiest decks, or not easiest, but one of the funnest like kind of decks just to play around with. And then finally, stun. Stun is probably the in my opinion, the easiest deck to learn how to play. If you take True Draco, for example, or Gravekeeper Demise, or any Demise variant, there's not a lot that you won't know how to do after learning the basic rules of Yu-Gi-Oh! One of the ways I got back into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! A while back was playing stun decks just to relearn the rules. Now, that was a really long time ago, but just starting out with stun decks can really help beginning players. Sure, there's a little bit of a cancerous playstyle for in some people's opinions, but I think it's good for newer players. I think it's also competitive and can really offer a lot of potential. So, in my personal opinion, stun decks are probably the easiest to learn how to play. Generally take the least amount of time to learn like the combos, because generally there's a lack of combos. So that's just my personal opinion, and that's generally like what I would recommend. So if you want something really easy to play, if you're looking for like an easier play style, and if you're looking for something where you don't really have to do a lot, stun. If you're looking for something kind of like middle of the road in a way, like nothing too complex or nothing too simple, kind of just a good intermediate deck, I would go control. If you're looking for like something that you could probably spend a lot of time learning different combos with, I would go the combo style. So, I mean, to each their own. That's just kind of like the different types of decks. In Yu-Gi-Oh, there's more, of course, but generally these are the three basics. And generally, like decks take stuff from one of these three, and or a mix of the three. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if you guys want to like in camera angle changes, any new content, anything like that. Just let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Brick Gaming yugioh signing out.